Guys, you need to stop what you are doing. Seriously. Put the phone down, turn up the volume, because what I am about to tell you, it's not just news. It is history happening in real time, and honestly, it is terrifying. We are looking at the final countdown. You've heard the rhetoric before. Fire and fury, right? We've heard the threats. But this time, this isn't a drill. This isn't a tweet. This is steel in the water. Donald Trump just dropped a bombshell that has the entire Pentagon scrambling. He announced a quote-unquote big flotilla, his words, not mine, is heading straight for the Middle East. He literally called it an armada. Who uses the word armada in the 21st century? Someone who isn't planning a patrol, but a conquest. Here is the situation on the ground. It is ugly. Iran is executing protesters. They are killing their own people in the streets. Trump warned them, stop or face destruction. They didn't listen, and now, the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is burning fuel, rushing from the Indian Ocean to the Arabian Sea at full speed. We are talking about the most powerful naval force on the planet, rushing to a choke point. Why does this matter? Because the mission parameters have changed. We aren't hearing about deterrence anymore. The whispers coming out of Washington right now are using two words that should send a shiver down your spine: regime, change. Are we about to see the fall of the Ayatollahs? Or are we staring down the barrel of World War III? Buckle up, we're diving deep. Before we look at the American response, we have to understand what we are walking into. Because Iran, they aren't Iraq in 2003. They aren't the Taliban. These guys are dangerous. The Iranian regime is like a cornered animal right now. And you know what they say about cornered animals? They bite. General Mohammad Pakpour, he's the big boss of the IRGC ground forces. He just went on state TV and said they have their, quote, finger on the trigger. That is not a metaphor. Iran has spent the last 20 years doing one thing: building missiles. Thousands of them. They have these underground missile cities, literal bunkers carved into mountains, stuffed with ballistic missiles like the Sejal and the ARMADA. These things are beasts. They are mobile, they are liquid-fueled, and they can hit U.S. bases in Qatar, Bahrain, and the UAE in minutes. Think about that time, minutes. That is barely enough time to grab your gear and run to a bunker. And it's not just the missiles, it's the geography, the Strait of Hormuz. I've looked at the charts, guys, and it is sketchy. Super sketchy. It's a tiny bottleneck. Iran has thousands of fast-attack speedboats, sea mines, and coastal defense cruise missiles. If they decide to shut that strait down, it's lights out for the global oil economy. The regime is desperate. They are executing protesters because they are losing control at home. History tells us that when a dictator is losing control at home, they start a war abroad to unite the people. So when General Pakpour says his finger is on the trigger, I believe him. I honestly wouldn't want to be in their shoes, but I definitely wouldn't want to be a U.S. sailor in a small destroyer near that coast right now. It is a kill zone, and this is a huge but, Iran might have a finger on the trigger, but the United States just brought a sledgehammer to a knife fight. Let's talk about this big flotilla. Trump called it an armada, and when you look at the specs, he's not wrong. Leading the pack is the USS Abraham Lincoln. Calling this thing a ship is an insult. It is a floating city of death. It's a nuclear-powered monster that displaces 100,000 tons. It doesn't need to refuel, like, ever. It can stay out there for 20 years, but the carrier is just the airport. It's what's on the deck that counts. The Lincoln is carrying the F-35C Lightning II. I've talked about the F-35 before, but let me break it down again because this plane is insane. It is a ghost. The Iranian radar operators. They are going to be staring at their screens, seeing absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, the F-35C is already hovering above them, painting targets, jamming their comms, and preparing to drop the hammer. It sees everything. It shares data with every other ship in the fleet. It's not just a plane, it's a supercomputer with wings. But wait, there's more. The Pentagon isn't just relying on the Navy. Reports are confirming that F-15E Strike Eagles are flying in from RAF Lakenheath in the UK. Now, if the F-35 is a ninja, the F-15E is a linebacker with a shotgun. This beast is a bomb truck, Once the F-35s kick down the door and destroy the air defenses, the Strike Eagles come in and level the place. They carry so much ordnance it's actually ridiculous. We are talking about bunker busters, precision-guided munitions, the kind of stuff that turns a hardened command center into a crater. And let's not forget the defense, because we know Iran has those missiles, right? Well, the US is deploying new Patriot and THAAD missile batteries across the region. The THAAD is wild technology. It hits incoming missiles while they are still in space. It's like hitting a bullet with another bullet, while blindfolded, at Mach 8. So Trump says Armada. I see a coordinated, multi-layered kill chain. The USS Mobile Bay is there. The USS Roosevelt destroyer is there. This is what flexing muscles looks like. Iran is threatening to shoot. The US is parking a Death Star on their front lawn and daring them to do it. So, how does this go down? Let's enter the war room. Let's simulate this. Because if that order comes, if Trump says go, it's going to happen fast. Phase 1, the blackout, it starts silently. Before a single shot is fired, US Cyber Command goes to work. The lights in Tehran flicker. The radar screens along the coast go static. The communication lines between the IRGC commanders go dead. The big flotilla unleashes massive electronic jamming. Iran is blind. They know something is coming, but they can't see it. Phase 2, the kick in THE door. Suddenly, the sky lights up, but not from planes. From the destroyers, the Roosevelt, the Mobile Bay, hundreds of Tomahawk land attack missiles launch. Whoosh, 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 they fly low, hugging the terrain, their targets, the air defense sites. The S-300 batteries Iran bought from Russia, obliterated. At the same time, the F-35CS glide in. They drop GPS-guided bombs on the missile silos we talked about earlier. They seal the missile cities shut. Phase 3, the desperate response. Iran tries to fight back. They launch whatever ballistic missiles they have left. They fire swarms of anti-ship missiles at the carrier. This is the scary part. But the Aegis combat system on the US destroyers tracks them automatically. The sky fills with interceptors. THAAD batteries in the UAE punch the big missiles out of the sky. Maybe one or two get through. Maybe a ship takes a hit, it gets messy. This isn't a movie, people die, but the counterpunch. Phase 4, regime decapitation. This is where the regime change part comes in. The F-15E Strike Eagles arrive. They aren't hitting radar anymore. They are hitting command bunkers, IRGC headquarters, the palaces. The goal isn't to occupy Iran. The goal is to cut the head off the snake. Without communications, without leadership, and with their military infrastructure burning, the regime loses its grip on the people, the protesters who were being executed. Now they are storming the government buildings. It's total chaos. It's fire and smoke. And in the end, the map of the Middle East looks completely different. That is the scenario. And honestly, it gives me chills just talking about it, because war is messy. War is unpredictable. Sure, on paper, the big flotilla wins. The technology gap is just too massive. It's not a fair fight, it's a slaughter. But Iran has proxies, Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Iraq, sleeper cells. If Trump pulls this trigger, the whole region could explode. But here is what I think. I think Trump is betting that the Ayatollahs are more afraid of losing power than they are of hate tweeting the US. He is putting the biggest gun on the table and saying, your move. This big flotilla isn't just a patrol, it's an ultimatum. The USS Abraham Lincoln is rushing there right now. The pilots are in the briefing rooms. The missiles are being loaded. We are watching a game of chicken between a nuclear superpower and a desperate theocracy. And usually, the guy with the stealth fighters and the Armada doesn't blink first. This is going to be a tense week, folks. Keep your eyes on the news. Now I want to hear from you. Is this a bluff? Is Trump just trying to scare them into submission? Or is this it? Are we actually going to see a strike on Iran in the next few days? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And do me a favor, smash that like button if you want me to keep tracking this Armada. Stay safe, stay alert.